So today we're going to be talking about equine welfare. So does anybody know what equine welfare means? Like the definition, any terms, any words that you associate with equine welfare? I'd give them a few seconds to think about it and then ask them. So what do we mean by equine welfare? Well, we use the term welfare to describe the acceptable conditions in which a domesticated horse should be kept. This means keeping them away from all forms of suffering, voluntary and involuntary actions carried out by others, by the owners. These include physical abuse, malnutrition, neglect, and other forms of ill treatment. The government have put in place acts and legislations to try and reduce the risk and likelihood of animals being abused and animal neglect cases being reported. This one is the Animal Welfare Act, which protects all animals, all farm animals. So, 5 freedoms. The 5 freedoms outline 5 aspects of animal welfare while they are under human control. Does anybody know what the 5 freedoms are? I'd give them a minute at this point to talk among themselves and try and remember what they are. Then I would ask them if they knew and go on. So these are the 5 freedoms. There is freedom from thirst, hunger, and malnutrition. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to try and come up with ways which may breach this freedom. So now I would give them 30 seconds to try and think, and then I would go on and ask them what they thought, and yeah. So those are 2 that I got. I put access to clean water 24/7 and suitable amounts of feed, so you're not overfeeding, you're not underfeeding, and you could also have the correct type of feed. The next one is to express normal behaviours. Once again, I will give you 30 seconds to think about, and then I will come back and ask you. So 30 seconds, ask them, and go on. So, turn out. So you've got to turn out in a herd. And, turnout gives the owner or yard staff or whatever to get in the stables and give it a good muck out and a clean, which also links to another freedom from discomfort due to the environment, because if they're not mucked out properly, there's a build-up of bacteria, pneumonia, which can cause respiratory problems such as cough and bacterial infections. Freedom from fear and distress. Once again, 30 seconds to talk among yourselves and come up with ways which could breach this. So I've got, make sure you try and minimise the amount of mental stress that you put the horse in. And you try and remove items that could scare them, or keep them away from items or things that could scare them. So if you see a car driving towards you when you're out, you move to the side, you make sure they're slowing down, etc. So next one is freedom from pain, injury and disease. Once again, 30 seconds so they can talk about it, get some ideas. So 3 I've put up are vaccines, objects in fields and yard. Treat the pain. So vaccines would reduce, would lower the risk, of the horse developing diseases such as strangles. Objects in fields and yard, so remove sharp objects, fill in holes in fields, and make sure there are no sharp objects around or in the stables. and treat the pain. So make sure that you are not neglecting your horse, you're not making the horse suffer, and you treat their pain with painkillers such as bute. Next one is freedom from discomfort due to the environment. So once again, 30 seconds so they can talk about it, and then I'll come back to them. So I've got 3 down. I've written appropriate environment, field care and stable care. So appropriate environment, you wouldn't let a horse, I don't know, you wouldn't keep a horse in a shed. You would want them to have a suitable size stable, which should be 12 by 12 feet for a horse, with the appropriate amount of bedding, so a few inches deep to a foot. And field care, you would want the horse to have shelter, water supplies, enough grass, and enough room. So, yeah. So the next thing I'd like you to do is you should have one of these sheets per 2 on each table, and I want you to look at each of these pictures, and I want you to outline, highlight, and write down every welfare issue that you can see in these pictures. So, and then once you've done that, I want you to write either below the pictures or on the back any other welfare issues that you may encounter while around horses, so like exercising, riding, etc. I'll give you 2 minutes for that one, and then we'll come back and discuss what you have found and see if you can come up with any more. And that's it. Any questions about what you have just heard or seen?